Carlton, now Inspector Wexford. This drama includes scenes that may cause some distress.
The bypass is going to be built, but I have to make my protest.
When it was decided the road should be built, people accepted it. They didn't do criminal damage and cripple people.
Confrontation in the camps, theft and vandalism in the town, and now a murder. It's not so much as it was decomposed, so lot of it had been eaten.
A German girl called Ulrika Ranker went into the Brigadier to make a phone call to a taxi firm.
I drove over to the pub. Now, I'm not denying she might have been there, but she wasn't there when I got there.
Play Russian roulette with people's lives. How dare you bloody I dare because it's the truth. Well, I'm puzzled by a man calling himself King of the Wood.
Can't get near it. Slippery as an owl.
We've lost control, sir. And if help doesn't come immediately, we'll lose the war.
The baby is perfectly fine. But where's Mother?
What?
You and Mother didn't have a row, did you?
No. What the hell is going on, Mike? A middle-aged woman, a young boy, and now a girl. All picked up by taxis, and now all have disappeared. We're a sacred globe, saving the earth from destruction. We're holding 5 people. Brian Barker, Roxanne Johnson, Kitty Struther, Maureen Struther, and Dora Wexford.
Let's wait for the police to find us.
We have to try! I just can't take anymore!
And she's claustrophobic. What if she's trapped somewhere?
By morning, we need a public assurance of cessation of work on the King's Markham bypass. If not, the first of the hostages will die.
She must be dead.
Any news?
No. Oh, you mean about Ulrika? Message from Inspector Miller that he's working on it.
What's the matter?
Just tired. Been to see the treat people.
Well, what were they like?
But the real dregs. Some stupid woman screaming and shouting about how we're destroying the world and people's souls. Dear God. I don't know what they'd do without us there to protect them. Any one of them's mad enough to be involved in the kidnapping.
Just because people are passionate about something doesn't mean they're terrorists, Mike.
They might be. Jenny, they might be. I know you think I label people, but they might be terrorists.
Mike, I remembered something. Well, someone, actually. There was a boy at school about 6 years ago. His name was Brendan Royal. He was almost 17 then. He's seriously into animal rights. That's when animal rights were innocent and mostly about saving endangered species and stopping the fur trade. But he was so passionate. Complete idealist. Didn't care much about people's rights, though. Anyway, when he left school, he went up north somewhere, I think, and then later one of the other teachers told me that he'd been caught stealing animals, or it might have been birds, I don't know, from a pet shop and then releasing them somewhere. But the thing is, he asked for a number of other offences to be taken into consideration. He was proud of it. Oh, I just felt so sorry for him.
Why did you never tell me?
Well, you wouldn't have been interested.
No, you thought I'd say serves him right, or these people are a menace to society. Perhaps I would have done. What did you say his name was?
Brendan Royal.
Paul.
Reg. How are things?
Much the same. Oh, just a little frightened of the boiling water.
You're quite right. You didn't mind my driving down, did you? I missed them. Well, I miss Sheila, and I rather like to get to know that baby so I can miss her too.
Yeah, I'm glad you did. Why don't you take her home? Why don't you take them both home? Hmm?
Don't you need her here? She says you need her. She says that she doesn't know what would happen if she wasn't here.
Frankly, she only adds to my worries. Oh, don't look at me like that. I love her dearly. But while she's here on her own with the baby, I keep wondering what she's doing, if she's all right. And I don't need that, Paul. You take her home.
Sugar?
No, I won't have any tea. Take it up to Sheila. Tell her you're going to take her home.
Okay. I'd love to. Nothing I'd like more. If you're sure.
I'm sure. Let's turn on the television, eh? See if we can get Newsroom Southwest. They must know by now. All the agencies were being informed. And if they know it's news, we know it's going to be news, don't we, darling?
Was pessimistic that any progress would be made. The Highways Agency announced last night that all work on the King's Markham bypass in Hampshire is to be suspended. This is due to an environmental assessment of the River Breed and Springfield Marsh, which must be carried out under a European Habitats and Species Directive before work can continue. Though thought to be a temporary suspension, it may last for some weeks. 2 basking sharks dragged.
Thank God. Thank God. Gives us a little time. Just a little bit more time. Just a little bit more time to find your grandmother for you. Anything on Royal?
Got his mother and father's address, so following up.
But he's not here.
No. May I say that I agree with you about not giving in to the terrorists? But it does buy us time. Must have been a very bad moment for you.
Don't be too sympathetic, it might kill me. Anything on Sam Slessor?
Nothing yet.
Would you get him in, Karen? I'd like to talk to him.
What about the hostage families?
No, no point. There's nothing all the hostage families can tell us. I know. I'm one of them. Oh, they were all random kidnappings, anyone off the street. The only ones I haven't seen are the Struthers.
All right, it's all over. It's all over. Right. Oh, you poor girl. Ryan, take this and stroke it. Ryan, take this.
Who are you?
Detective Chief Inspector Wexford.
I suppose you've come to tell me something about my parents. So, have you come to tell me something?
To ask a few questions. Try and get some help.
You come to me for help. They've got my parents, for God's sake. What's Mr. Plod doing?
Staying very calm in the face of adversity. I know something about your father. CV of a financier. Very successful one. Date of birth. Date of marriage. One son. Andrew Kingslake Struther. Is Kingslake your mother's maiden name?
No, my maternal grandfather's.
Oh, thank you very much. It would help me a great deal to know how your father would stand up to imprisonment.
My father is the kind of man who thrives on adversity. He loves a challenge. He loves a fight.
I suppose one has to have a degree of ruthlessness to achieve the kind of success he has. I wonder if you can understand that.
Oh, I can understand it. I wouldn't want it for myself. But you're saying that he could face captivity with equanimity.
I'm not sure I'd go as far as equanimity.
No. And your mother?
If I appear to be on edge, Inspector, it is because I feel very much for my mother. She is such a gentle soul. She has led a sheltered life, tending to her garden and doing good works. I fear for her in this situation.
Well, I assure you the hostages will be found and the terrorists punished. Thank you for your time.
Haven't found those missing people, have you?
What missing people?
We heard some people had gone missing. Look, I don't like grasses. I like violence even less, yeah? It's not necessary. We're winning because our cause is just. Frenchy Collins. Yeah, she was here. Yeah, I don't like her and there's no point in me saying I do. She's violent sort. Anyway, she's disappeared suddenly. So maybe she was an embarrassment. Maybe she was needed elsewhere. But yeah, who knows?
Where does she live?
Mother lives in Guildford. That's all I can tell you.
Still no contact from Sacred Globe? Perhaps they are mad enough to see this postponement as a victory. Slesser, I want you to go up into the front camp. See what the word is, triumphant or what. All right, thanks, that's it.
Reg, there may be another angle. It may sound a bit far-fetched.
Go on.
What if it's about money and not motorways? What if someone's using Sacred Globe and saving the world to put us off the track?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, the burglary of contemporary cars was bogus. It was done to set up Sacred Globe as the kidnappers. Trotter killed Ulrika Ranker. He needs the money. He thought she had it. He was wrong. He did the kidnapping from his office, yet the Struthers have money. He keeps up a constant pressure on us with Sacred Globe while he negotiates a price with the Struthers.
Mike.
I really think you should give it serious consideration, Reg. The man has form, and he's killed.
I haven't proved that yet. You prove that, and I'll give the rest serious consideration.
Mum was pregnant when the news came. They'd only been married 3 months. I'm not sure where the war was.
The Falklands.
That's it. That's it. He was a wonderful artist. He drew and painted pictures of flowers and nature. The reason I was staying with my nan was because my mum was in hospital having a cone biopsy. It was the second she'd had. She wanted to get married again. She wanted more children. Bye, Dora.
No. Please.
Wish that I could fly into the sky so very high, just like a dragonfly. Oh, I want to get away. I want to get away. I want to fly away. Yeah, yeah.
The new Peugeot 206.
Taste all the goodness of the West Country in every spoonful of ambrosia cream rice.
It's ambrosia. Ooh, ah. It's ambrosia. Ooh, ah. It's ambrosia.
say, that's lovely. Is that Daddy in the hot air balloon? Oh, Daddy is the hot air balloon.
You've been eating these, then?
Kellogg's Healthwise bran flakes with body balance nutrition. No other cereal provides a better balance of the things your body needs.
What more does a man need to stay fit and healthy?
Kellogg's Healthwise bran flakes. A step in the right direction.
Why is the Bristol and West so good for mortgages, savings and investments? The Bristol and West specializes in mortgages, savings, investments,
And nothing else.
Now, there's something slightly more sophisticated than your everyday cooking sauce. It's called Sizzle and Stir from Chicken Tonight. And this is the tikka masala variety. You get 2 pots, you see. The first spices the chicken and turns it tikka red. One feels like chicken tonight, chicken tonight. Then, the second pot gives you a masterful masala sauce. Chicken Tonight, Sizzle and Stir. One could say it's a game of 2 halves.
How would I most like to have a one-to-one? As clearly and perfectly as possible with a 19th century tracker called Manawa. I'd ask him how he learned to recognize every minute sound in the desert, right down to the smallest drop of water. And how could he hear horses approaching from so far away? If I had a one-to-one with Manawa, I'd want to know if he could tell that I was his great-great-grandson just by the sound of my voice.
EFR Enhanced Digital Sound. The clearest sound quality you can get from one-to-one.
They took me out. I thought they were going to kill me. Then they gave me the message. They told me to say they'd noted the suspension, but it wasn't enough. They want cancellation. That was the first that I knew what it was all about.
What exactly did they say?
We have noted the suspension to work. This is not sufficient. Our demand is cancellation of all work on the King's Markham bypass. We are a sacred globe saving the world.
Well, there's nothing wrong with your memory.
Oh, I was frightened, Rich. I knew they were going to kill me, you see. Then when they didn't, they gave me the message. It was like a hot needle going into my brain.
What was the voice like?
It was sort of Cockney, flat, nasal. It was not a script.
It's all right, darling. Don't say anything.
It was so degrading in the taxi, Reg. I thought I was going to wet myself.
Don't say anything, Walter. Don't. Sit down. Sit down.
Oh, and then Kitty went first, and then Roxanne. They took her away, Reg. We heard footsteps and screaming, and then a moment later there was a shot. And then silence. She's dead, isn't she? She must be dead. They must be dead.
No. She's not dead. Trust me.
I just wish that they had let Ryan out instead. I just can't bear to think of him in there on his own, thinking that I am dead and it's his turn then.
It's all right, darling. It's all over. It was a terrible nightmare, but it's all over. Roxanne is not dead. You're not dead, are you? They just wanted to terrorize you and us with that gunshot. There'd been no point in killing her, since we've agreed to the only demand they've made so far.
No. No, I hadn't thought of that. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you're quite right. The guards didn't seem very efficient. Sometimes I thought they're just as frightened as we were.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you back, Dora. Sometimes I thought it would never happen.
Me too.
Hello? Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, I'll inform the Chief Constable.
Dora's home. I thought you'd like breakfast in bed and then you can go back to sleep.
Oh, go back to sleep. I know I'll be back in that place. Reg, would you be very offended? I am dying for a cup of coffee.
Then a cup of coffee you shall have. Can you remember where that place was? Never mind. Come sit down. Sit down. I'll tell you about your family.
I'm there to ask. Have you seen Amulet?
Oh, she's a wondrous baby, Dora. With black hair and bright blue eyes. You know, I thought Sheila was going to jump in the car and come down when she heard you were back. Oh, don't worry. I said you'd call them tonight. I said that to Sylvia, too. I said you'd be busy. Well, you will. We're going to have to debrief you at the station. I'm sorry. You are going to have to go through that horror again.
Yes, of course. I hadn't thought of that. What did you do with the clothes I was wearing? They'll have to be washed and cleaned.
They're in a black plastic bag, waiting to go to forensic.
Once a policeman, always a policeman. Don't you, Reg? Tell me it's true. I am here in my own kitchen, aren't I? What's he doing out there?
Oh, Mike must have put him there. I'd have to go in a minute. Will you be all right?
Reg, all newborn babies have bright blue eyes.
Not as bright as Amulets.
You've noted the suspension to work. This is not sufficient. Our demand is cancellation of all work on the King's Markham bypass. We are Sacred Globe saving the world. These are terrorists. We've given in to one demand, and now they expect us to give in to another and another. The question is, are they really mad enough to think that they can stop work on the bypass permanently? We've heard of this happening in other countries, but this is here. It's our friends, our families. My wife pretends she's all right. I won't rest until I have them for this. They locked Roxanne in the cupboard. They know the girl's claustrophobic. They beat her up and locked her in the cupboard. They came down, put a hood over her head, took her out. Minutes later, Dora heard running feet, screams, and a single shot. And where have they taken the Struthers? Ryan's in there on his own now. Must be a basket case. terrorized out of his wits. What sort of scum can do this to a child?
Anything on Brenton Royal, Mickey?
A good lead there. The cousins now own Marrowgrave Hall, his grandfather's house where he grew up. I'll follow that up.
What about Frenchy Collins, Karen?
I have her address in London. I'm up there today.
Slesser, I want the name of the King of the Wood.
That's my top priority, sir, but he's well protected.
Mike?
You'll look after yourself, won't you?
Yeah, don't worry.
Just don't want you to get hurt.
Can't believe this was built as a private house, can you?
Once I'm inside, you have a nose around out here.
Come in, my dear, come in. You're the police, aren't you? We got used to seeing the likes of you.
Give us some weekdays. One of them biscuits with jelly in, or we've got some frozen Mars in the freezer. Look at it. Nothing of her.
No thanks. Very good of you. No thanks all the same. I should like to ask you about the house. You bought it from a Mr. Royal about 7 years ago, I believe.
Nearly right, dear. It was 6 years ago. Jimmy Royal's my cousin. We've always loved this house, haven't we, Bob? I mean, it's a real, genuine antique. So when Jimmy inherited and wanted to sell, well, Bob had done ever so well in business. So he just sold up and blew the money on the house of our dreams.
Dave, my plate's empty.
I wish you'd have something yourself. A nice piece of Victoria sponge. I made it this morning.
I wouldn't say scrappy, but bordering on it. No offence.
No, no. I won't have anything to eat. Jimmy Royal has a son, Brendan.
More like our son. Won't have anything to do with Jimmy and Moira. He says his dad's cruel to animals and cheated him out of his inheritance. But I say to Brendan, don't you worry. It'll be yours one day.
Meaning?
We leave it him when we pop our clogs.
So you see him?
See him? Well, he always drops in when he's down this way.
Do you know where Brendan is now?
Oh, Nottingham, maybe? Another morsel of sausage days.
He was down last week. Something to do with butterflies and frogs.
He loves animals, Brendan. That's his work, you know. Saving animals. Bit like the RSPCA.
He comes rolling down our drive as happy as a lark. And he parks the caravan right outside the kitchen window so he can get all the cooking smells.
So he lives in a caravan?
Winnebago is the correct term, dear.
I saw it on TV. Is that why the work stopped?
There's been a suspension of work, yes.
And all on account of our Ryan. Well, and the rest of them. Our Ryan and the rest of them. Our Ryan. If the work stopped, he'll be coming back, won't he?
I wish I could give you an assurance of that, but, Mrs. Barker, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know because they've not told us. We're in the same sort of position as yourselves. That of having to wait and see what develops.
What develops? But what are you doing to try and find them? Why aren't you out there looking for them?
I assure you, every available officer is working on this.
Hey, but there must be ways. I'd go and look myself, only I don't know how. But you must know. You must do it. It's your job. And they could kill Ryan. They could torture him. God, oh Christ. What are you doing?
I'm not in protest anymore. And I've never heard of Sacred Globe.
Why were you in the forest then?
To see someone. That's not against the law.
Who? The King of the Wood?
None of your business who I went to see.
What's his real name?
He's always been king to me, both in name and nature.
You were a paid-up member and an active protester at Greenham and at Newbury.
If you know so much, what are all the bloody questions for? You toffee-nosed bitch. Don't stand and stare at me like that. You've got nothing on me. I'm an ill woman. I went to Zaire and contracted dysentery. I've lost 2 stone. I've got no time for bypasses, protests, and least of all, coppers. I want you out of here.
We could call it obstructing the police.
You call it what you like. Out. And if you ever come back, you'd better have a warrant. I've had the police here. Who put them onto me? Well, you better find out. I don't want them here again. Understand?
So, why don't I jump aboard and keep you company, eh? You care for a ride, then?
Not really, thank you.
I see you like the really rich.
I like Kenko really rich, yes. It's not only rich, it has depth and superb taste. Ciao.
Fair dues. I'll catch you next time. Lovely evening, ladies.
Kenko really rich.
When I tried to buy a prepaid phone, just my luck to come across people who didn't seem to care which one I bought, as long as I bought one.
This is the package on special offer.
Is that better for me than Cellnet?
We don't do Cellnet.
But then I talked to Faye at the car phone warehouse. She asked me some simple questions to find out if prepay would be right for me. She knew about all the networks, because they're independent, and they sell them all. She made it really easy, and I know I got the right phone.
When she said, catch your breakfast, we all despaired. But we'd had weeks of picks, so we'd be prepared. We paddled a canoe and we swung from trees. And at the end of it all was this terrible wheeze like the Vega. Dip, dip, da, ba, ke, la.
Have you had your Weetabix?
At the center of a great PC experience is a Pentium 2 processor.
When the day's been a struggle, new Prima Milano pasta melt creates a fresh, delicious meal in no time at all. Simply spoon onto hot pasta and let it melt in. To enjoy the taste of ripe tomatoes with fragrant basil. New Prima Milano pasta melt. Just melt into pasta.
Everything about the new Volvo S80 is designed to turn heads. Apart from the seats, which, in the event of a rear impact, are designed to help save necks. The Whip's whiplash protection system inbuilt into every Volvo S80. The world's most exhilarating, safe choice.
Feel like I'm about to be electrocuted.
Relax, Mr. Christie.
The polygraph is a very precise instrument. What colour is your underwear today?
Black.
Mr. Christie, have you ever tested positive for drugs?
No.
You did in Seoul in 1988.
I was acquitted. I've been totally exonerated. That was a mistake.
What do you know about a new financial organisation called EGG?
They provide tailored solutions for each customer.
Where did you put your fee for endorsing EGG?
It's in an egg savings account.
When did you lose your virginity?
I don't think I ever had one.
Are you married?
No.
What are you doing later?
The taxi stopped at the lights and a man got in wearing a stocking over his face and put a hood over my head. I couldn't even cry out. I was terrified. He pushed me to the floor. I thought he was going to kill me. I thought I was...
Which way did they take you?
I don't know. The hood made it...
Of course. Could it have been towards London?
Well, I suppose it could have been in that direction. I don't know. I really haven't got a clue. I'm not being much good to you, am I?
It's early days yet. Don't let your coffee get cold.
I don't know where we were, but it was below ground, I think. I went down steps to get to it.
I need more pulleys and rope.
One of you help carry them.
Could you describe the driver of the car that picked you up?
No, not really. I never saw his face. But he did smell.
Smell?
Yes.
What of,
Unpleasant.
Could this have been your driver?
No. This man sounded younger. He seemed heavier. I don't suppose I could have a break, could I?
Sorry, of course.
Hello, Reg.
She's being marvellous.
So you say. I'll be better after a cup of tea.
You turned yourself into a man of violence. You can't even remember how this started, can you? We were always non-violent.
Get out of the way! Get out of the way!
You and your brothers, you've all gone wrong. You're bad men. You're bad men. You're worse than the bailiffs. You're bad men.
So what plans have the Home Office got for us now, sir? Are they going to stop the motorway?
Yeah, that's not possible. We had to buy time. Home Office position was very clear.
Oh, yeah. Very clear.
How's Dora?
Fair enough.
But she still doesn't know where they took her.
I think she did very well under the circumstances. Many people would have collapsed under the ordeal.
You misunderstand me. I was wondering, what would you say to hypnosis?
Not my decision.
Do you think she would consent?
I don't know. But I must tell you, sir, I'm not prepared to ask her.
Suppose I asked her. Then if she agreed with no coercion, would you mind that?
No. I wouldn't mind.
I've got his name. It's Tarling. Conrad Tarling.
Well done. How'd you find out?
Myrna, sir. She's known him for years, but she doesn't like the fact that he seems to endorse the use of violent protest.
Well? Progress. Not great, but helpful.
Aren't we going to know?
They think they found the jewel.
L570LOO.
Dora's cases. The hostage situation and the fact that the hostages will die if work on the motorway is not stopped permanently must be given to the media now. No delays, we are Sacred Globe saving the world. Naive, are they? Very clever. They make an impossible demand, and then slip one in we have to give into. They're calling the shots. Press conference at the station at 10 o'clock. Not today, thank you. What are you doing up? I was going to bring you a cup of tea. And a warning.
What's a warning?
Well, the press and the photographers are going to be swarming all over us. Why don't you go up to bed, Frankie?
I ain't got time to lie in bed.
You don't have to do this, you know.
There's no choice, Reg. If he can find something that will help you to get the others freed, there's no choice.
I'd like to have a happy hour with those three brothers round the kitchen table.
Calm yourself. You won't be asked. Slezer's seen Brendan Royal at Golan's farm with the King of the Wood, Tarling.
Right. Let's get Royal in.
We've also got some information on Tarling's family.
What?
His elder brother, Craig, is currently serving a 10-year prison sentence for his animal rights activity.
He conspired, masterminded, might be a better word, to set off 50 fire bombs. His targets were rabbit and chicken farms, butcher shops, an agricultural college, an agency selling tickets for circuses, well, among others. I dare say he would have targeted ostrich farms, but this is 5 years ago and there weren't any then.
So what went wrong? I mean, wrong for him and right for law and order.
A shop assistant thought it odd for one man to buy 60 timing devices and told the police.
I see. Is that it?
No, there's another one. Column. He lay down in front of a lorry carrying sheep in Brightlingsea. He's in a wheelchair.
Right, let's get Tarling in. Looks as if we might be getting somewhere at last.
We have good reason to believe that you are a member of a group calling themselves Sacred Globe. Will you at least acknowledge that you're called Brendan Royal?
So you see, my brother Craig's position is one of high moral principle and unassailable logic. If animals can be used for vivisection, human beings can, with equal justification, be blown up.
I believe you know Brendan Royal.
The only difference is that human beings die a quicker death. And you may be sure that my brother is showing courage and exemplary behavior as he serves this Dragonian sentence. And
I ask you if the name Sacred Globe was your personal invention,
for my
Mr.
part,
Tarling.
I have dedicated myself to the whole of the natural world, to the landscapes, to the forests, to the hills, to the valleys.
Would you call yourself a professional protester?
I've dedicated myself to the vulnerable, to the dead, to the fragile. Without him, life on this planet must face hideous destruction.
Excuse me, sir. The Mercedes which brought Mrs. Wexford's suitcase has been found, abandoned on the Stoughton Road.
Have you got the forensic report?
Yeah, it's on its way, sir.
Good.
Makes you want to beat the silence out of him.
You got nothing. Nothing at all.
Not even the confirmation of his name. He's certainly a candidate for Sacred Globe. Nothing's moving, Rage. Nothing.
Does that worry you?
No, of course not.
Just wondered.
Why?
Well, you've got nothing from Trotter, nothing from Royal.
I'm more concerned because I feel I'm being watched.
Well, perhaps you are being watched. They phoned you at Tanya's, they phoned you at home. Maybe we have a mole.
Oh, surely not. We can't have, can we?
Well, we'll just have to watch our backs. And you, trust your intuition.
Actually, it's not intuition anymore. It's an obsession now. I can think of nothing else. I've got to get Trotter. I even dream about him.
Well, it's not only you, Mike. It's the rest of us. We haven't one positive to fall back on.
Maybe whoever makes the decisions is sitting in one of our cells.
How did you get on?
Just talks. He will not answer a single question.
We have not got one clue. All right, better let them go. Let's watch every move they make.
Could you see anything out of the window?
Yes. A blue patch.
What sort of blue?
A sky blue. A clear sky blue. As blue as the patch on a Dutch boy's breeches.
Was it the sky? Did you see it all of the time?
Oh, no. And the strange thing was, it was never at the same height or in the same place. I mean that one day, it was a small blue patch high up. And another, a smaller patch lower down.
Outside. The body in the bloody bushes!
I'll get the police!
Road Rage continues after the news.
This afternoon I did something you may find shocking. In the morning, I did a bit of shopping.
Cotton wool?
Then I went home and gave my baby her mid-morning feed. At about 2 o'clock, the phone rang.
Hi.
It was a man, very well spoken, and I asked him to come round. At 2:20, we had sex together. He paid me 150 in cash.
Vice, the sex trade, next Monday at 9 on ITV.
Taste oranges straight from the trees.
croissants straight from the oven, eggs straight from the farm, and now taste coffee straight from the bean. Using a special process straight after roasting, Dow Egberts brings you Caffeine S. All you do is add hot water. And to keep it tasting this fresh, you'll find it in the chiller cabinet. New Caffeine S. Great tasting coffee straight from the bean. From Dow Egberts.
Discover a colorant that really cares for your hair. New Garnier Movida, a tone-on-tone cream colorant with conditioning karité. Without ammonia. Blends away grey hair. Enjoy natural, vibrant color. New Movida Caring Color, formulated and controlled by Laboratoire Garnier.
Commercial Union and General Accident are...
Twins. Twins?
Twins?
Twins.
Commercial Union and General Accident are... made for each other.
Surprising.
Commercial Union and General Accident have...
taken early retirement.
Commercial Union and General Accident are now CGU. That's the background. Here's the future.
With a set-top box and an aerial, you won't need a dish to receive ITV2, the usual channels, and more.
Free!
You'll be able to take advantage of digital quality, such as...
Clearer reception.
And if you've got a widescreen TV set, you'll get CD-quality sound, as well as the big picture.
It's only digital.
Only digital? Have you got it yet?
Dish-free digital. The simplest way to get digital is through the aerial.
From ITN, News at 10 with Trevor MacDonald.
Hurricane devastation, the first British aid arrives. Outed Minister, I won't complain about the press. Exclusive pictures of the search for sunken gold. Prince Charles' abdication row, who was the royal mole? And after this, sending offs for the wolf and the three little pigs. Good evening. The first British aid reached the hurricane disaster zone in Central America today. The Red Cross flew in a cargo of supplies, which included water-purifying tablets, medical kits and blankets. And the Royal Navy put in medical teams and Royal Marine Commandos to give whatever assistance they can. Among the worst hit areas were the first hit, Honduras and its offshore islands. ITN's James Mates was the first correspondent to reach Juanaja and reports now on the immediate and long-term needs of its people and those of the whole of northern Honduras.
It is turning into one of the biggest international aid efforts ever attempted. But the tons of supplies arriving here from Britain, Europe, the US, are still just a fraction of what's needed. And moving them beyond the capital in a country where the infrastructure is totally destroyed is proving the biggest task of all. Everywhere we traveled in northern Honduras, roads were washed away.
They're the cross-channel bootleggers trafficking cheap alcohol and cigarettes and costing the government millions. This Christmas, customs officers have declared war on the smugglers with their biggest operation against the illicit trade. But with Britain imposing one of the highest levels of duty in Europe, is the bootleg problem of our own making.
Only on GMTV tomorrow.
Now Katie Haswell introduces London Tonight.
Good evening. There's anger tonight over plans to park trains carrying tons of nuclear waste within yards of homes in North London. Experts claim the spent fuel is safe, but the fear of risk of contamination is causing residents to sell up and move away.
To an estate agent, Linda Hayes' home is a charming Victorian railway cottage. To Linda, it was almost like living in the country, until now. For what was once an abandoned freight yard at the bottom of the garden is soon to be a siding for trains carrying nuclear waste.
If it goes through, then there will be a mass evacuation from the area. Council tenants and people who own their own house will move out.
They carry a lethal cargo, but they've been coming through the capital for 35 years. Spent fuel rods from nuclear power stations, transported in reinforced flasks to the Sellafield reprocessing plant in Cumbria. At the moment, the train stopped at a rail yard at Willesden Green, but now British Nuclear Fuels is to have its own depot at Cricklewood.
And what you've got here is a situation where you've got a wonderful little local community, and it's going to be destroyed because parents will move for fear that their kids will just get that little bit extra radiation that gives them leukemia.
The flasks aren't indestructible, but BNFL claims this test, carried out 14 years ago, is evidence of how tough they are. Despite the 100-mile-an-hour impact, the damage to the container was superficial.
Because of the concern here, I have said that I will introduce random checks at both ends, that is when the journey starts and when the journey ends at Sellafield, in order to further reassure the local people.
Tonight, some of those living close to the depot at Cricklewood lobbied Brent Council. The authority has no power to stop the trains, but the demonstrators say this is just the start of the protests. At Brent Town Hall, this is Simon Harris for London Tonight.
The soccer hard man Vinnie Jones was given a dressing down today by magistrates who wanted to know why he hadn't turned up to do his community service. The footballer turned film star was originally sentenced for beating up a neighbour near his Hertfordshire home.
He may have been known as the hard man of soccer. He may also have a starring role in the hit film Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels.
By the time this tan's faded, you want to have paid.
But today, Vinnie Jones was humbled by magistrates in Hemel Hempstead for failing to comply with a sentence imposed in July after he was convicted of beating up a former neighbour, Timothy Gear. Jones was meant to do 100 hours of community service. Vinnie Jones did start his community service decorating at this school, but a probation officer who's since been sacked leaked the address to a freelance photographer. And when his picture appeared in the press, Vinnie Jones said no more. Today, his lawyer claimed the picture had a devastating impact. How could he have confidence in the probation service when fearing that someone else might pop out from behind bushes to take another photograph? In the interests of justice, the order should be revoked. But the magistrates disagreed and added another 40 hours.
It's like anything, you know, you can't take on referees and you can't take on these people. You can't take them on, you're losing battle.
How would you like to serve your community service now?
Oh, I'm not bothered, I'll just do it with a smile, to be fair, because all this makes me laugh.
So the man, now starring in cinemas across London, may soon be decorating for free at a school or community centre somewhere in Hertfordshire, and hoping this time the photographers don't catch up with him. In Hemel Hempstead, this is Gareth Furby for London Tonight.
So Cliff Richard has certainly faced the odd battle during his long career, but this latest setback has left him quite literally struggling for words. The Peter Pan of pop has been laid low for a fortnight with a chest infection. And while he's been able to carry out some engagements, like today's visit to the White Lodge Centre for Disabled Children in Chertsey, he revealed that his illness has forced him to cancel others.
I was planning to do a TV show for Boxing Day, and I mean, I've been wanting to do this for 20 years. I've been waiting for a Christmas slot for as long as I can remember Morecambe and Wise doing it, you know? And when it finally came my way, I thought, yes, we've got it. And we had the time all booked. And I got some infection of my throat, which went to my chest. And they were a little bit worried that it might turn to pneumonia. It didn't get to pneumonia, but the infection knocked me out for the best part of, well, now it's 2 weeks. And for about 10 days, I could barely speak.
That's it from us. We're back with bulletins from GMTV in the morning. Until then, have a very good night. Bye-bye.
Carlton Weather is sponsored by Amarada, the energy company.
Hello again, and for the third night running, we're going to see some rain in the small hours. It's a dry start for most of us, but that won't last too long because those showers will come along later on in the night. The odd heavy burst quite possible before it clears up towards dawn and turns quite chilly in a few places, as low as 5. That's 41 Fahrenheit, the wind easing off. So any dribs and drabs soon clearing away in the morning, then a dry, fine story for the bulk of the day. I think there'll be some cloud building up, but it won't threaten any showers, and some sun poking through right the way into the afternoon. 11 or 12 Celsius isn't just as mild as it was today, but the winds won't be all that strong. A little bit of a fresh northwesterly around 15 miles an hour. The outlook, more rain to come midweek and then turning a touch cooler towards the weekend. That's it from me. Here's a summary.
For a more detailed 5-day outlook, call Weather Update, sponsored by Amarada.
Travel Update, in association with Business Pages.
Hello, good evening. A number of new roadworks started today. Firstly, in Hampton on Lower Sunbury Road between Harfield Road and Upper Sunbury Road. Whilst in North London, repairs on Regent's Park Road in Finchley caused long tailbacks into East End Road earlier and looks set to do the same tomorrow. Further afield in Reading, watch out for southbound restrictions on the A329M between Winnersh Triangle and the M4 interchange, ongoing until Sunday. Roadworks also commenced on the High Road in Wood Green today at the junction with Earlham Grove. Finally, in East London, the Limehouse Link Tunnel will be closed tonight and for the next 3 nights from 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. the following morning, which will mean extra traffic on the A13. That's it from me. Good night.
Travel Update with Business Pages, helping you to work. The current Inspector Wexford story concludes next.
I didn't want a desk job. Keep your feet on the ground, the careers teacher said. Come lunchtime, I'm starving. Which is why I like this Knorr tomato and basil taste break soup, with pasta and croutons. It's tasty, rich and thick, sort of like my dream man.
Knorr taste break soups.
One reason people live longer in the Mediterranean is their diet. Fresh fish, vegetables and olive oil help keep them healthy. So sometimes they visit the doctor for other reasons. Olivia, made with the oil of age-old olive groves.
Great news. Let's put out an all unit, shall we?
Okay, stand by.
Sierra Oscar, Sierra 1 on way.
Let's do it.
Thunderbirds on go.
Police, open up!
New hour-long episodes of The Bill, Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 on ITV.
This is Carlton, part of the ITV network.
For the police to find us.
We have to try. I just can't breathe anymore.
And she's claustrophobic. What if she's trapped somewhere? They took her away, Randy.
Dora heard running feet, screams, and a single shot. And where have they taken the Struthers? What a scum can do this to a child?
The body in the bloody bushes!
Roxanne Johnson.
I'd say she's been dead for at least 2 days, maybe longer. I will, of course, be able to be more accurate about that later on, but the time-honored method of assessing the time of death will show you that for rigor mortis to come on, establish itself, and wear off, at least 2 days must be allowed. Note the limpness of the hand. Now, I can't tell you when she was brought here, but she must have been put into the sleeping bag fairly soon after her death, because once rigor mortis was established, it would have been impossible to bend her legs into that position without breaking the knees.
The cause of death?
Oh, you're never satisfied, are you? You want everything and you want it at once. I've told you before, I'm not a magician. Well, she's obviously been the victim of a violent attack, or attacks. I mean, look at her face. And both her legs are broken, but it wasn't done in order to get her into the sleeping bag. As to the cause of death, well, she wasn't shot, she wasn't stabbed. There are no ligatures around the neck. You can do whatever you have to do and take her away. I'll do the post-mortem tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp.
What are you looking for? Looking for a note. A message. There's nothing. Why? Why now? Why any of it? I don't know. Just take my life, they wouldn't have killed her. Just to frighten them. Am I wrong? Jesus, I'll get them for this. No new demands. No promised negotiations. Dora. Well, at least they didn't return that poor child to her mother. Shall we go with you? No. No thanks, Mike, no.
She's dead, isn't she? You've come to tell me she's dead.
The body of a young girl has been found. I cannot say if it's Roxanne. We need a positive identification.
Thank you.
It's all right, Reg. I'm awake. What kept you? Reg? What is it, Reg?
I was hoping you'd be asleep so I wouldn't have to tell you till tomorrow.
Tell me, Reg.
It's Roxanne.
Roxanne?
She's dead. They killed her. They murdered her.
Please tell me it's not true. You said she wasn't dead. You promised.
I'm sorry. I was wrong. She's dead.
Don't come near me. Don't touch me. You lied to me. How could you lie? Oh, Mother. Dear God. Oh, Mother.
Ah, there you are. Good morning, good morning. Right. Shall we begin? Case of the eye being stronger than the stomach.
What do you want? Get out of here! I told you everything I knew last night.
Did you? I don't think you did. I'll just run over the ground with you, shall I? You picked up Ulrika Renker outside the Brigadier about 11 o'clock on April the 3rd. Foreign girl, pretty, pearls round her neck, might have money in her pocket. You thought sex might be on the cards. Or were you thinking of straight robbery?
I ain't talking to you.
You offered her money for sex. Fair exchange. You get your end away, she gets money to buy drugs.
Oh, man.
But she wasn't interested. You tried to force her. She put up a fight, and you killed her.
Hold hard. Just hold hard.
Getting to you, is it? Nothing like the truth to frighten a man. Got lucky with the pearls, didn't you? Genuine, cultured pearls. Get much for them, did you? Obviously not enough. You still needed money, so you took the hostages.
What?
Roxanne Johnson got stroppy with you, so you killed her, too. Dumped her outside, fell in here, and then pretended to be sick.
You are raving mad. Do you know what I mean? Mad.
Where'd you get the name Sacred Globe? Out of a porno mag? I know you did it, Trotter. I know you killed Ulrika Ranker. I know you killed Roxanne Johnson.
Prove it. Just bloody prove it. Tanya! Get me my lawyer! I got a bloody madman in here.
Time of death? Saturday afternoon.
I suppose I can ask my question now.
What did she die of? Oh, that blow to the head. You don't need any medical degrees to see that. The skull's fractured, the brain severely damaged. I won't go into a lot of technical stuff. It'll be in the report.
What kind of weapon was used?
Well, if someone struck her, he must have double path. He's out of the wound. I don't think she was hit. I think she fell. I think she fell from a height onto a gravel path.
Fell? Or was pushed or thrown?
For God's sake, you're at it again. I'm not a magician. How many times? I don't know. Would you expect a great handprint in the small of the back?
Any sign of a struggle?
Well, fingernails full of flesh and blood, eh? No, there was no. Her right arm is broken. Her ribs are broken. Her left leg is broken. There is bruising to the right side of the body. I think she fell from a height, perhaps as much as 30 feet. And she fell onto her right side. And that's about it for the time being, gentlemen. Thank you for your attention. And I'll be off home to my brunch.
Feeling better?
I didn't expect to see you here.
I just thought I should come in.
Terrible news about Roxanne.
Yeah.
Are you all right?
Yeah, fine.
Good morning. As time is of the essence, let's be as succinct as possible. Mike?
Sleeping bag's gone to forensics. It's made by a company called Outdoors. They're being traced.
We've got the forensic report on the stolen car. No fingerprints on it anywhere. Nothing. I've traced the owner, but I haven't spoken to him yet.
Mr. Mavrikiev thinks that Roxanne fell to her death from a height of 30 feet or more. I don't understand it. We've given them everything that they've asked for. Why kill a hostage without any explanation? Can anybody make any sense out of it? Got any ideas?
Well, maybe we'll find out in the next message.
Sky blue. As blue as the patch on a Dutch boy's breeches.
Was it the sky? Did you see it all of the time?
Oh, no. It's not true.
Please tell me it's not true. You said she wasn't dead. You promised.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
Please forgive me, darling.
Sorry.
I'm so sorry. You must have fallen asleep. I was thinking about the Struthers. They were both so pathetic, really, and Roxanne when she was locked in the washroom. I don't think I'll ever get her cries of panic out of my head.
Sit down. I've heard your tape. You must be unique.
What do you mean?
You must be the only person in the world without a unconscious. Everything is in your consciousness. You told us everything. You kept nothing back. Except for that blue thing. What sort of a blue was it?
Sky blue. Perfect, true sky blue. As blue as the sky at noon on a bright summer day.
Well, then it was the sky you saw.
No. No, it wasn't sky. It was just sky colour. Anyway, was there any cloudless blue sky while I was in there?
Well, as a matter of fact, there was.
Oh, no. This wasn't the sky. It was more like something hung out of a window or painted on. The difficulty with that is that it moved. And I'll have a gin and tonic, thank you.
Brendan Royal is not a bad man. He's just a nature freak. He certainly doesn't act like a man with hostage problems. Snapping away at deer. You better now, Damon?
Yeah, time of the month. When I was a boy, I used to go down to that stream on a summer night. Slept out with a blanket.
What did your parents say?
They didn't care much. No, that's not true. They did care, but they knew it was in my nature. They just told me to take care.
Did they know you were working undercover?
Nice now. They knew I disappeared for months on end, but I just told them not to worry.
Should they have been worried?
Maybe. I told them it was part of the job. You have to learn it's here today, gone tomorrow. They got used to it.
Did you get used to it?
Sometimes, when things were rough, I used to come back here, in my mind. Back home to the trees and the stars and the stream. In my heart, you know? Deep in my heart. I've done some funny things, Karen. Some I'm not very proud of. You've got to play on the balls of your feet. You can't hang around thinking about a decision, you do it.
What sort of funny things?
Scary.
When you... Sometimes you don't always know which side you want to win. You could do it. Living on your wits. You have to be quick and strong. I needed to be, for my parents. You ever gonna ask?
Oh, yes.
Is this the right time?
Yes.
Is it the right place?
No.
My beautiful daughter, Elise in the dark.
Rubbish. I know how she died. I know exactly how she died. When they moved her from the basement, they put her into a small room with an accessible window in an upper floor and shut her in. Like a small and frightened bird, she threw herself out of the window.
You can't possibly know that.
Oh, yes, I can.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Information on the sleeping bag Roxanne's body was found in.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, they've only got 2 outlets in the south of England, both in London, I've checked. NW1 and Brixton. NW1 hadn't sold any. Brixton had 4 and sold 2. The manager took 1 for himself, and he remembers selling the other one because it was the same day he decided to have his.
Does he know who it was he sold it to?
Well, it was a woman. And he remembered she was going to Zaire.
Excuse me, you can't go in there. He's phoned me. My son. He's phoned me.
Mrs. Barker.
Oh, I wanted to come and tell you myself. Ryan, my
Tell
son,
me
he's
carefully.
phoned me. He phoned me half an hour ago. I had to move, run. I wanted to come and tell you myself.
You tell me. You tell me. Let's come to my office.
No, I thought I was dreaming his voice. But then I knew it was real, and he's all right. He's going to be fine. He likes them, and they like him. He's joined them. God, now they won't hurt him.
Stop. Stop. This is important. You repeat that conversation. Word for word.
He said, Mum, it's me. I said, who is it? I mean, I knew who it was, but I said, who is it? Who's that? He said, calm down, Mum, it's Ryan. Listen, this is a message from us. So I said, who's us? He said, Sacred Globe. I'm one of them now. I mean, there was something like what he said. It's not the exact words, but...
But you're sure he said that?
Well,
I'm one of them now.
Yes. He said he's joined them. They asked him to join them. I mean, I was just happy because he's all right. He's alive.
What else did he say?
He said, we want the bypass rerouted. I'll come back to you tomorrow night. I didn't know what that meant. Could it mean he's coming home?
Well, it's difficult to say, Mrs. Barker. But perhaps. Sergeant, could you get Mrs. Barker a cup of tea, please?
I'm not saying a word to a right little tight-ass like you.
I simply want to ask a few questions.
You simply wanted that before. And you simply acted like I was dog crap.
Miss Collins...
I said I wouldn't talk to you. I don't mind talking to him. He seems a nice enough guy.
All right, if that's what you'd like. I won't say a word.
I don't want you here. Right? Understood? I'll talk to him on his own. Oh, Christ knows what I'm going to tell him. I don't know anything about those Sacred Globe people. You can sit in the car. No doubt there's a car.
Got the forensic reports here. First of all, the leaf on Roxanne's shoe and the leaf found in the sleeping bag both come from the same plant family. The Ipomoea rubrocaerulea family.
Congratulations. I see the report.
They also found some kind of dust on Dora's skirt, which they suggest could be the substance which adheres to the wings of butterflies and moths. The suggestion is that Dora's rather long, full skirt brushed against cobwebs in which a butterfly or moth had been caught and died. The dust is pink and brown, and according to the report, the only insect which is predominantly brown with pink wings, rose pink underwings, in fact, is the rare rosy underwing. Now, I looked it up. They're found in Europe and Japan, but in this country only in East Wiltshire.
Do we know anyone who lives in Wiltshire?
Conrad Tarling's parents.
Does your son, Conrad, come home often?
Yes, he comes home whenever his work permits it.
He's a very dutiful son. Do you frequently visit your other son in prison?
There are children. We've always tried to be loyal to our children. And they're brave and dedicated people with the right aims and principles. It's just...
All right. Actually, I endorse that.
Yes, we do have licenses for them all. The 12 bores are predominantly mine, and the rifles are licensed by Conrad.
Is one of them missing?
I'm not sure.
You're Lapidopterist, sir. Have you seen the rosy underwing around here?
No. I know the cabbage white and the red admiral, but that is all that I know about butterflies.
What are you looking for?
You are...
Column Tarling.
Just a routine check, Mr. Tarling.
We get a lot of those. Well, don't let me stop you. Well, I can't stop you, can I? In fact, I can't do anything. Not anymore. There's not much you can do when your spinal cord has been destroyed. You know, you work hard for the good things in life. You work for those good things to keep them and make them endure. Civilization and living creatures and decent behavior and mankind. And they punish you for that by cutting up your spine under a truck. Do you have an opinion on that?
You kindly said that we should continue, Mr. Tarling, so if you excuse us, we will.
Christ. A gentleman. A real gentleman. You're in the wrong job, aren't you?
They're only doing their job. Come inside, Carl.
They're
Come
only doing
inside.
their job?
No.
Is that what you whispered to me? I didn't quite catch that.
His mind is rather disturbed. You mustn't think...
I wasn't thinking anything in particular, Mr. Tarling.
I mean, his spine, destroyed isn't the word. His back was broken, but they can mend backs these days. But it's all, so much of it, in his poor mind.
Bloody ball.
Somebody doing this to us.
For a safer drive,
the new generation Citroën Xantia with Activa suspension minimizes body roll.
On a cloudy day, and it's cold outside. I've got the
Every night, BT tests millions of lines. So tomorrow they're working perfectly. Just one more reason why thousands of people come back to BT every week.
The milk you have with your bowl of cereal provides 20% of your daily allowance of calcium. But what if you miss it? Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars now contain 25% of your daily allowance of calcium. That's more than a quarter pint of milk. So now, if you miss the milk at breakfast, you won't miss vital calcium. Kellogg's Nutri-Grain with added calcium. Good food on the go, just got better.
So, why don't I jump aboard and keep you company, eh? You care for a ride, then?
Not really, thank you.
I see you like the really rich.
I like Kenko really rich, yeah. Not only rich, it has depth and superb taste. Ciao.
Fetters, I'll catch you next time. Lovely evening, ladies.
Kenko really rich.
Hi, can you test me on my homework?
VTech's pre-computer prestige has a test trainer helping children with their homework.
What's the symbol for copper? See you?
It has over 40 educational activities,
Let's play word games.
including
Okay,
English,
then.
maths, general knowledge,
Who put the satellite in orbit? Russia?
a
That's
real word
right.
processor, and printing capability.
Let's play. Homework's done.
Pre-computer prestige from VTech, #1 in electronic learning.
Oh, yeah.
Searching for ways to enhance the look and comfort of your home? Why not try this simple step? Philips Softone. See your home in its best light.
Pharmaton capsules. The unique combination of vitamins, minerals and purified ginseng helps you stop feeling slow. Fight fatigue with Pharmaton.
What can I do for you, Inspector?
Oh, nothing. Just a friendly call. Right. We've put a trace on Audrey Barker's phone. Ryan will call again. Discount Royal. Hey, Karen?
Yes, sir.
Fiasco at the Tarling House. That leaves us with one last piece of forensic evidence. The Ipamere rubrocalylia.
Is that going to help us?
Well, it's not like bunging in your average aster or clematis. It would appeal to a specialist gardener.
Do you have someone in mind?
Oh, yes. I might have.
Mum, it's me. Did you pass on the message? Mum?
Of course I did, Ryan. I did what you said.
They have to reroute the bypass. You got that?
Yeah, I got that. I passed it on. Just like you said.
Weaver, there's been a call at the Peabody House.
It has to be announced officially by the government today. If not, Mrs. Struther dies. You got that?
The Brigadier Pub, the old bypass.
I think you've got someone there.
Who else is in the house?
Me,
What is all this? What's going on?
There's nobody in the public.
Of course there isn't. There's me and the wife's upstairs. He was a tall young man in a sweatshirt. She was blonde, with a basketball cap on. They had to use the phone, an emergency line. So, I showed them the phone in the office.
Found yourself a civic conscience, have you?
The payphone was out of order. They said a friend outside was ill.
They told you that, did they? You didn't stand outside the office and listen?
What do you take me for?
A lot of things, Mr. Dixon, and none of them very nice. What did you do then?
I went down to the cellar. When I came back, they were gone.
You can do better than that.
I told you they were gone.
As these young men have shut us down, I thought I'd bring you a drink. Either of you two like a little tincture?
How did they arrive?
By car.
You heard it?
Yes, I heard it.
Did you hear it, Mrs. Dixon?
I might have heard it.
Did you or did you not hear the car?
Yes, I heard it.
Wexford?
So it's only taxis that arrive at 11 o'clock at night you don't hear. Is that it?
You lost me, mate.
I don't think so. On the 3rd of April, a very still night, a taxi from Contemporary Cars, driven by Stanley Trotter, drove up to your door to pick up a young girl you said you'd left standing outside. You said you didn't hear the taxi arrive. That's peculiar, isn't it? Or perhaps you were out there with the girl, waiting.
What are you driving?
Perhaps you went along for the ride with Trotter and the girl.
Just a minute. Just
Perhaps
a minute.
you were in it together. What happened? Bit of fun get out of hand.
You can stop that right now. You can't implicate Bill in this girl's murder. He was upstairs with me. Then Stan arrived.
You heard him then?
I heard the car arrive. I saw Stanley Trotter. I saw the girl get into the cab. And Bill was upstairs, in the bedroom, with me.
Mr. Burton, you'll be glad to hear that there's been a positive identification on the pearls. Inspector Weaver has all the information. Sergeant Larry, would you take Mr. and Mrs. Dixon down to the station and take their statement?
The green holdall found in this caravan is manufactured in Germany solely for the domestic market. It was bought in Bonn. The pearls found in the pocket of the holdall have been identified by a jeweler, also in Bonn, as being a string he sold to a young woman answering Ulrika Ranker's description. He made a positive identification of the clasp. She sold him her cultured pearls and asked him to put the clasp on the false ones, which wound up in your possession. Anything to say to that?
Yeah, I want my...
Save your breath. We've phoned your solicitor. Stanley Trotter, I arrest you for the rape and murder of Ulrika Ranker. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defense if you fail to mention when questioned something that you later rely on in court.
Wexford?
You haven't complied with our request. If there's no announcement on the morning news bulletins of a complete revision on the plan for the King's Markham bypass, Mrs. Struther dies.
Right, what do you mean by early morning bulletins?
Oh, wait a minute, please. By 8 tomorrow morning. If not, Mrs. Struther dies.
Ryan?
Who says intuition doesn't work?
Well, I can't think of anybody offhand, Mike. Well done.
Thank you.
Too short, sir. No train.
Thank you.
Jenny and Dora were going to see that protest play, Extinction. I promised I'd pick them up.
Well, I'll go get them. You stay here and charge Trotter. I wouldn't deprive you of your moment of glory. I'm sorry. Ah, this must be your private garden.
Mr. Wexford, please join me.
Thank you.
I hear that Sheila's had a baby. Many congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yes, a girl. Amy.
Oh, I'd heard that she was going to be called Amulet. I thought that was rather pretty. How's Mrs. Wexford?
Well, at this moment, she's enjoying your play Extinction, Mr. Godwin. I didn't realize that part of these grounds were shut to the public.
Well, not even the public will want it when the bypass comes.
Is it coming very near?
At the nearest point, about 100 yards from the end of the garden. I was born here. Well, Framhurst way. I lived here till I was 18. I came back about 12 years ago. I've seen more changes in those 12 years than in all the rest. Can't tell you how many. Too many.
All changes for the worst.
Yes, I think so.
What is that?
Oh! Yes, Morning Glory. Look at that colour.
I thought morning glories were all pink or white.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, the native ones, the wild ones are, but these are cultivated morning glories. Only they have this wonderful blue colour.
Could they move?
What do you mean, move?
Well, a patch here one day and then a patch there the next.
Yes, well, a flower only lasts for a single day, so broadly speaking, yes, you could have a patch that all came out here today, and then that patch could all come out tomorrow. Yes. Of course, none of them will come out on a really dull day.
Mr. Godwin, would you do something for me? Would you ask my wife and Mrs. Burton if they could find their own way home?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Damon? What is it?
I killed Roxanne.
No. No one killed her. She jumped.
No. I did it. Not with my hands, but I did it.
I don't understand.
I've been working with Sacred Glow.
What?
I gave them information. I helped set up the scam with the kidnappers. I made it easy for Tara.
No! Don't tell me anymore.
But I need you to understand. You'd understand if you'd listen. I did it for my parents.
No!
It's beautiful there.
I don't care. I won't listen.
But we're lovers.
We're police officers! Now you get out of here and you deal with this yourself. You deal with this yourself. Or I'll have to. Don't even think of it.
Go. Go now. I'm glad you've come back, sir. This fax just came in from forensic.
Oh, this is good. This is very good. Nobody will now be dumping Kitty Struther's body.
Kuye kwamemeza abantu bonke mandulo kumemeza abantu abadala kangaka we bantwana kamsalaleli nga
umbiko wokufika wentokozo enkulu sabanyemi eshula sokulanda simemeze ngazwelinye sithi ifikile inkosi yamakhosi silandele khona sizophumelela.
The cat, perfectly adapted to hunt for fresher food. The owner, perfectly adapted to open it. New Whiskers singles, foil packed for freshness.
Look at their shirts. They don't look like they've played much before.
Oh, but don't they look nice?
This, my friend, should be a walkover.
When filthy clothes go in the wash, new Ariel Liquid's Clean Rinse formula helps prevent dirt from redepositing. So, colours and whites don't become dingy. Wash after wash, game after game.
This should be a walkover.
New Ariel Liquid keeps your clothes at their best longer.
Jasmine, my daughter, she has this thing about soft things, soft toys. After using Dove for 7 days, I actually felt the difference in my skin all over.
Dove is made from 1/4 moisturizing cream. It won't dry your skin like soap can.
Jasmine, she's quite honest about what she likes and what she doesn't like. And she likes my skin, which is great.
Now you can get all the goodness of Dove in Dove Cream Shower, so try Dove for yourself.
Everything about the new Volvo S80 is designed to turn heads. Apart from the seats, which, in the event of a rear impact, are designed to help save necks. The Whip's Whiplash Protection System inbuilt into every Volvo S80. The world's most exhilarating, safe choice.
Where's Sergeant Slesher, Nicky? Can he come with you?
No, sir. We haven't been able to contact him. No one knows where he is.
Sergeant Malahide, arrest them.
Should I know what this is about?
You can drop all that. The charge is manslaughter and kidnap. Sergeant Vine, find Ryan Barker. Mike, you come with me.
How dare you break in here? Who the hell are you?
Police. Are you Owen Kingslake Strother?
If you are the police, I want your name and I want to see your warrant.
Detective Chief Inspector Wexford. And I arrest you for kidnap, aggravated assault, and manslaughter.
You must be barking mad.
Not so mad, Mr. Strother. Not so mad. There's a very talented gardener at work here. The withered leaf of the Ipamere rubra carolea was found adhering to Roxanne Johnson's shoe. Another was found in her sleeping bag, and I picked up the third on the gravel path behind your house, where your wife grows her morning glory. All 3 leaves were from the same plant.
My husband planned it all. It was his idea, absolutely his brainchild. The rest of them...
Shut up, Kitty.
The rest of them... Well, we had to bring them in for sheer force of numbers.
Shut up, you stupid bloody woman!
Well, it's all over, isn't it? It doesn't matter what we say now. That was your wife.
My wife
wasn't
is
it?
Just a little emotional at this moment.
Well, it's hardly surprising, as she'll be charged as an accessory.
But the girl wasn't pushed, you know. She jumped.
Very flimsy. You'll get nowhere with that. Stupid girl threw herself out the window.
So you admit kidnap?
If perhaps we hadn't locked
Kitty,
her up.
I'll deal with it. So, Inspector, what else do you have up your fantastical sleeve? It's all this about murder and kidnapping.
You kidnapped 3 members of the public in order to change the democratic process by force.
Oh, little man. Little man. I'm a very good judge of men. And you are a very small man, Inspector. You never play a high stake. You never take life by the scruff and shake it. I was quite justified in what I did. I'd always wanted this house. My God, I worked hard for it, and I got it. And I was not going to see it ruined by some ghastly motorway more suitable for Los Angeles or Birmingham. This, my view, my England. And I won't have bloody plebs like you telling me what I can and cannot do. Do you understand me?
And Tarling?
We needed him. Very useful tool for the kidnappings and to put you off the scent. Thanks to your sergeant, he was able to move backwards and forwards, undetected. Slesser. Very easy to corrupt. But then most of our police are.
How much did you pay?
Enough to set his parents up in some small holding. Everyone has his price, Inspector. Even you. Oh, do shut up, Kitty.
I can't help it. It's all so sad. It doesn't matter if they build a road now. They can execute me if you like.
Get dressed. Charge him, Mr. Burden.
You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defense if you fail to mention.
Ryan Barker. Your mother's...
We are Sacred Globe. Saving the world!
Stay where you are, Sergeant Malahide.
Where the hell have you been? You let me down. You let the team down. Talk to me, Clever.
Have something to tell me? You betrayed us!
Perfect, true sky blue. As blue as the sky at noon on a bright summer day.